Good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. Lacey. Oh, Lacey.
I'm here. I'm here. My
Ah.
equipment.
Oh, Cliffy.
Equipment.
Cliffy.
Sorry, I'm currently away from my computer.
Away from your computer.
Yeah,
What you
doing
doing away
equipment
from your
things.
computer? How dare you be away from your computer?
Well, technically, I'm still doing equipment things.
Quit me things.
Equipment. Yes. But how was everyone's holiday? I hope everyone was safe. I hope everyone continues to be safe. Because I know a lot of people are driving back
Mm.
down this weekend. Please, please, please drive safely because
Please.
oh God. I actually saw several accidents, car accidents on the
Mm-hmm.
way to my destination.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so worried because their Christmas is already ruined because of crazy reckless driving. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Don't be like them.
Don't be
You
like
know,
them.
don't have your New Year's, don't have the few last few days of this year be ruined by reckless driving. 2021 has already taken enough. Come on now. Excuse me.
I mean, one of the local weather people is really active for our, area of the state. And I saw, I think yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, that there was like an overturned vehicle on one of like the
Oh my God.
major, um, central like highways and interstates that like shut down all like
Hmm.
one side of the interstate.
Yeah, please be careful, you guys,
Please.
especially if you're driving or anything. Just be mindful of the road and the people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like just and no texting and driving. God forbid, please don't text and drive.
Please
It ain't
don't.
worth it.
It's not
It
worth
ain't
it.
worth it. It's not worth it. But yeah, other than that, other than the impending drive, everything's been good. I
Yeah.
hope everyone had a good Christmas. Uh, I got a lot of knickknacks and comfy clothes, and oh my
Mhm.
gosh, fuzzy socks. It was wonderful.
Surprisingly,
Eh.
I didn't get any socks this year, but then again,
Ooh,
last year though,
you have an extensive collection of socks already?
I already have a huge collection of socks, and even then, that hasn't stopped like my side of the family, from giving me socks. But fortunately
Yeah.
enough, and surprisingly, I have not gotten a single socks this year. Last year I probably got personally about 10 different pairs of socks. And then my
Ooh.
husband doesn't do fun socks. He doesn't do silly socks. He just
Oh,
does like black
yeah.
socks. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
like all the socks that were given to him just were given to me.
True.
And my feet are tiny compared like my feet are women feet, not men feet. Men feet are big feet.
Yeah. Darn those men and their big feet.
Big feet.
Big feet. Anywho,
Anywho.
anyhow, uh, one thing we did that we've been waiting to talk about
Hmm.
from even before Christmas time
Ugh!
is the movies.
The
Oh my
movies.
God,
I'm
the
so
movies.
excited.
Movies. I know you were excited
I'm so
watching Spider-Man, which is what we're going to talk about today. I do also want to talk about Encanto because I watched that last night
yeah.
and hot damn, that movie hurt in a good way. It was a good watch. Dang, it was so good. But
Um
first off, the main man is Spider-Man. We're gonna talk about that.
let's just go ahead and tell people that when
Oh,
I got
heavy spoilers.
home, you were able to hit an earlier showing than I was.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I went right after work.
I had to go home to collect
Yeah.
my husband, and then I was hungry because I hadn't had lunch, so we went and ate. We were able to make it to the 5 p.m. showing, which I was very excited for. I was expected to have to go to like the 6 p.m. showing, and we actually did
Yeah.
get pretty decent seats. Like it wasn't packed out. It wasn't like a full house like Shang-Chi was, but for us it was still
Mm-mm.
pretty crowded for um cuz I was telling you, a lot of people don't know what movie theater I went to, but I was telling you, I'm like, there was literally a showing every 30 minutes, starting at like
Yeah.
12:30 that day.
Hmm. I
Um,
think with the most theaters, it was like that because my theater also had something like that. The theater that I also went to. But unlike you, I only had four people in that theater because it went so early after work that it was me, this couple behind me. My husband didn't want to watch it at that
mm,
time.
mm.
Now he has FOMO. Now he has FOMO. So, one second.
I feel like your husband
So
has FOMO a lot.
he does. When he sees how much I have fun, then he'll have fun. That's just how it is for him. But so what was I saying? I forgot.
Your theater,
Oh wait,
you
so
only
our
had.
theater, there was four. So there was me, a couple, and this big burly guy who was sitting in the front, who all he wanted to do, it looked like, was just to eat his food, which that's fine. I think that's fine. Um, but cheese and crackers. One second, my tablet's going cuckoo bananas. I'll be right back. One second.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. So we try to hoot and holler, especially on certain scenes. I
Mm.
won't spoil just yet. Do we
I
have
mean, we
spoilers
got
up?
the spoilers is up. It's like, you
Okay,
really
good.
think that I'm gonna go into like an MCU and not have
Let's just
spoilers on the
say,
screen?
right. Well, let's just say the reveal of the villain and the Spider-Mans, it was me and this couple. We were like, oh, oh, yes, yes, you know, and we were having a great time. I felt bad for the guy who was just trying to have a peaceful dinner or
Bitch, you
whatever at the
don't go
theater.
into an MCU movie for peace.
Peace, yeah. Um, but it was amazing. I had a great time. And I had like good tickets because, matinee showings and whatever,
Mm.
but bruh, it was a great time. I had a good time for sure. And
Um,
I wish I could erase it from my memory so I can remember it all over again. Ah, I want that so bad.
oh my God, it was so good. It was so, so good. I had a blast with it. Like, I learned after Endgame that, well, I already knew. I've already told you. It's like I love a theater experience, but I realized and embraced, and I'm like, I don't give two fucks after Endgame. Like, I've been invested in this series since 2009. It's like, if I want to get excited, like loudly excited about what's happening on the screen, a fight scene, a reveal, like a betrayal. There hasn't really been a betrayal in a while, but like a betrayal, like I will make it known. And it's like like, or a reveal. Holy shit, there were like some major reveals that were really good.
Sorry, I'm sorry, you said there was some what?
Reveals. So like,
Oh, can we just talk about it?
who do you okay, cuz I want to kind of like do one. He's kind of minor. First. It's Matt Murdock.
Okay.
I was very excited about
Yeah,
Matt Murdock. It's like, I understand
yeah.
it's not the Ben Affleck Matt Murdock. I understand that
No, 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 no,
this is
no.
a Sony production, so they're going to bring in their Matt Murdock that they've been doing for Daredevil. And it's just like, boy, howdy,
So,
do they know
okay,
how to do reveals in this movie. Because holy shit, they focus on the walking cane first,
the glasses.
and then the glasses, and then it's like, oh, thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Oh, you can call me Matt. And then the catching of the brick. It's like,
Okay, can I? Okay, that I told you, I freaked the fuck out. And I was the only one who did in that theater, which is sad because I mean,
which
I
is
apparently didn't see
sad,
the
which is super sad, because like the girls sitting in front of us were like, oh, like not all of
yeah.
them. One of them, I could be friends with her, but she's like, oh, no. And one's like, what? And she's
Because
like, yes. And my husband's like, who? I'm like,
well,
Daredevil.
it's Daredevil, but I saw the show, right? I used to
Yeah.
watch the show when it came out in 2015 or so, because that was the talk of the town, and I was still in college at the time, right? So I was talking to about, the show, and it's the same actor for the Netflix show. He was also in what is it called? One with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. They have a show
Iron
specifically for
Fist?
them. I can't. No, no, I don't remember. It was something for them on
Oh, right,
Netflix.
right. I know which one you're talking about. It's like they each had their individual show and then a combined show.
Yes, that's right. And I love Jessica Jones, but we're not going to talk about that either. But I saw him in Daredevil. Loved the show. Saw 2 seasons, which I'm gonna rewatch because now that I saw it's the same fucking actor.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same actor, which is when I saw him on screen, I was like, I know him. And I know immediately I knew it was Daredevil because I knew the actor and I knew the character he played in the Netflix show. And he does it so well. He does it so well that I'm just like, oh, I hope they actually cast him in his own film, like in a movie, because he is just perfect in every sense of the word to be Daredevil. And nothing about against Ben Affleck or anything, like good for Ben
That was
Affleck,
like
but
a
like
that was the early comic book movies. Like the early
yeah, it's the
comic
same.
there it's
I was gonna say it's the same for Blade. Like we are not gonna have Wesley Snipes Blade, but we're gonna have another Blade because it was early 2000s comic book films. You know what I mean?
right.
And I can let those go. So
They
I
can
freaked
stay
out.
their they can stay in their own universe and things like that. There's nothing wrong with what they were, but it is a different time period for when we're bringing in the characters that we're bringing in. Like if we had
Hmm.
brought in like Daredevil or Blade in like Iron Man 1 or 2, it would be a little easier to integrate them into the MCU, but at this point it's a completely different tone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Agreed. It's more serious and sad. The Spider-Mans. Um, but I freaked out. Obviously, I freaked out um
And we
that
should have
he
known
was on
like
TV.
I knew.
I
Okay,
didn't think they would actually pull in. I didn't think they would actually pull in characters from the show. Like they had their own specific,
I
group
am
of characters.
surprised, but thinking back on it now, I'm not surprised because it's Sony. I've told you
Hmm.
this when we got out that they Sony very thoroughly removed Disney and the MCU from this movie. We have cut Tom Holland's Spider-Man off from the MCU with this movie.
Hmm.
And so that means that Sony, after their big fight with Disney over Spider Man, Sony is now going to do their own thing with Spider Man. So thinking back on it now, I'm not
Hmm.
surprised. I was a little confused at the time. I'm like, oh, we're bringing in Matt Murdock. Not surprised in the grand scheme of Spider Man because Matt Murdock has represented Spider Man in the comic
Right.
books multiple times. So I'm not surprised with that. I'm like, okay, cool, continuity. I appreciate that. I really like it. You're bringing in a new character, even if it's a little nod. It's like, oh no, we're probably gonna get more of this because this is now Sony's project.
Hmm. Hmm. But I think I was just surprised because it was the same fucking actor from the show with his same look and everything. He was amazing. And of course, it just solidified with the when he caught the brick and everything and
Mm-hmm.
he how did you do that? And he just goes, I'm a very good lawyer. What? You make fucking no sense. But
No, Matt
Spider-Man, he
Murdock
knew.
is
He knew.
sassy. He's a sassy bitch.
Yeah. Loved it. Loved that scene. Freaked
But
out, but I loved it.
thinking back on it now, this with um Matt Murdock confirmed in
Hmm.
now this Spider-Man universe because I feel like we're is going to end up completely cutting the MCU out. Um, we might get Kingpin. My husband was very concerned that it's like, oh,
Oh
we've brought
yes.
all these um like old villains in. We're not going to get these villains anymore, things like that. And I'm like, Spider-Man has numerous villains. Numerous
Hmm.
villains. Yes, we've already dealt with Doc Ock with this. We've dealt with Green Goblin. We've dealt with
Hmm.
Reptile or whatever his Crocodile or whoever his name is. Sandman, Electrode. Like Mysterio, we've dealt with all those, but that's not the only villains that he deals with. We're probably gonna get Kingpin, and I'm very excited about that. Because
I am too.
Kingpin is a little bit more Daredevil, but because we have all these superheroes canonically in New York with the
Hmm.
Marvel franchise, a lot of these villains end up cross heroing. So
That's
Spider
true. Yeah,
Man
yeah.
will deal with Kingpin on occasion. So I'm very excited for them to bring in Kingpin because when Ben Affleck's Kingpin was done, he was mwah.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
glory.
It was
Like
really
I
good.
love that actor so much. I cannot remember his name. He was in Green Mile. He was lovely. I love him to death. He was so good as Kingpin.
Perfect.
I want to see what we
Hmm.
do with a Tom Holland Kingpin because
Do you
each
think we'll ever get that?
probably actually yeah probably
Hmm.
because Sony now has a hold of it. Like we know what the next villain is gonna be. We already okay. You didn't know this. I already
Oh,
knew this. You didn't know that we were getting villains into this. You didn't know that we were getting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like I knew, like when Phase 4 was announced, I knew because I knew the cast like confirmation on casting.
hmm,
Because it's
hmm.
like we had confirmation that again Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to be in it. We also knew
Right.
after the big fight with Sony um that there was confirmation that Venom was going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. I mean, technically he was, but it does
Yeah,
set up
technically he was.
yeah,
And
technically that was I need to go watch Venom now,
I
but that was a fantastic mid-credit scene.
thought it was fantastic because I didn't expect that Venom to be in that universe. And then, wait, we can't talk about the end credits just yet. We have to have some form of order
No, no
because
order.
I'll go off on the end quarters. But
Multiverse of
like,
Madness. Fuck this shit. Ah.
madness. Yeah, no. I All right, we'll just talk about it. So Venom was in the end credit scene, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or post credit or something like that.
Right.
And because he was brought in because of the rift in time and space or whatever. And a little bit of Venom, I guess a little bit of that alien stayed behind. And that's
Mm-hmm.
a perfect setup to chaos. Just that one interaction
Mm-hmm.
with that poor bartender in Mexico
Mm-hmm.
will set up for the greatest one of the greatest villains. Is it a villain? Anti-hero? Um,
Yeah,
Technically villain is
he's
yeah,
traditionally a
anti-hero, I guess.
villain. Venom is traditionally a
Yeah.
venom or a villain, but I haven't watched the Tom Hardy Venom movies yet. I haven't watched the first one or Let There Be Carnage. Um,
Oh yeah.
and I understand that Venom is kind of leaning towards more of an anti-hero with this telling, so we don't really know what's going to happen. We can tell that Sony took a lot of like inspiration online for their moments in the movie.
Yes, yes.
Um like there was a lot of resolution that has been talked about online for a very very long time and like memes and things like that. Sony does that very very well. So one of the memes that floats around on Tumblr specifically, and obviously gets to Facebook because you know Facebook is the catch-all for all the memes when they've gone
Hmm.
and died, um, is that Venom will identify Tom Holland's Spider-Man as a small baby character that needs protecting, and will
Yeah.
act as a protector for this Spider-Man. Um, but it's very interesting because Venom takes hold of Spider-Man Peter Parker traditionally in very very dark
Hmm.
times. So we just had a major death in the movie. We've also had
Oh,
our Spider-Man, our Tom Holland Spider-Man, completely cut off from everybody he
from
knows and loves.
everybody.
Everybody.
Yep.
Holy shit. So he's
Hmm.
in a very alone and very dark place. So who knows what Venom's gonna do? Will he be a support for Peter Parker, or will he be a bad influence?
I, I don't know. He could actually be a bad influence. I
Right.
mean, in
Because
Tobey
traditionally that's
Maguire,
what
he
he
was,
is a bad
yeah.
influence.
Well, and I'm gonna just talk about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That's exactly what happened. He was a bad influence. And
And
if
that,
only
hmm?
Tobey Maguire stayed, he would recognize that black goop, and Tobey Maguire would be like, nope,
You
mm-mm,
leave this
don't,
baby
nope,
alone, you do not touch him.
yep.
But that is
Because
also
what
a
what happened to
different
him?
Venom, though.
Hmm.
It's like, I do understand it's like, Tobey Maguire's like, oh no, you don't need to do this, but we do have a different Venom, quite literally, now interacting with Tom Holland, or going to be
Yeah.
interacting with Tom
Hmm.
Holland. Um, so Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Venom was a very traditional Spider-Man Marvel Venom and Spider-Man interaction.
Hmm.
Um, what's happening with Eddie, or Tom Hardy's
Yes,
Venom
yes, yes.
in the Venom franchise is completely different from tradition. My understanding, again, I haven't seen it traditionally. So I'm cautiously excited, but also I understand that like Sony's being a little bitch about the Tom Holland Spider-Man
Oh yeah.
with Disney. Also, Disney's being a pain in the ass about it. So
Yep. Because it's
us children are
Disney.
getting caught in the fight of two
Mhm.
parents. It
That's exactly what that is.
is.
We're just getting caught in the fight between two parents.
Yep.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
This is it's
Mom and
dumb.
dad are
But
fighting
I get
again.
it. Mm. And Disney just fucking Disney.
So it's like neither
Anyway,
corporation is innocent in
no.
this fight, but they're also not entirely at fault. They sure as hell are not innocent, though.
No. I will say though, the way Sony took. Okay, let's break down the story. We're
Yeah,
already 30 minutes in. I need to break down the story.
break it
So
down.
obviously, yeah, so obviously it starts off with it starts immediately after Far From Home, right? The reveal of who Spider-Man is and the whole world thinking that he killed Mysterio and all of that, which I thought it was very good. You can feel the tension, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of cut short because
It did, like, that entire thing felt really rushed.
yeah, it really did.
Not just the
Be,
reveal and the immediate after effects, like the same day after effects, but like leading up to that until we get to our conflict seems very rushed.
I agree. Um, but I love how they did it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I love
Hmm.
that they used his friend's ticket to college, right?
Right.
To be like, oh shit, I really fucked up. Like this is fucked up, you know. And he goes to okay, this also makes sense to me. He goes to Doctor Strange to
Right.
find a spell to erase that, right?
Right.
Before even doing the most common thing, which is just talk to them, right? Just talk to the head of the university, dean, whatever, to see if you can get your friends in. Because he's a superhero. He doesn't think like that anymore. He thinks of the like, oh, I have other superhero friends, maybe they can help me, instead of actually doing what a normal human would do and calmly explain what actually is going on, right?
Well, it's not just that he's a superhero, he's still technically like 18 years old. You're not
Yes, but
used.
his mind doesn't go to, oh, I should talk to the dean.
Well, at 18
I'm just
years
gonna,
old, would you know to talk to the dean about that situation either?
yeah, I would try.
But would that
That's
be
the
your
thing.
first response? It's like, oh, I can just
Yes,
talk to these people.
yes, because I would think in my position, if I was Spider-Man, And I was cleared of all charges thanks to Matt Murdock, who is also a superhero. But if I were cleared of all charges, I would go up and like explain, like, hey, as a superhero, there are these dangers for me specifically, but my friends have nothing to do with it, all of that stuff. I would try and do that first because I've done that in college. Like, I actually went to the dean or like financial services or whatever to explain my situations with school. I did that. So, and I was like 18, 19. So I'm like, I think that's why I thought it's different for Peter Parker because he is a superhero who has superhero powers that can't save him in this time, right?
I
With
mean, yeah,
basic.
I agree
So
with
he's like,
you.
what? It's like, but what other superhero could do it? Ah, Doctor Strange. Yeah. The Time Stone.
Well, like he's
Yeah.
already been. Well, yeah, fair enough. He did think of the Time Stone, but who else would you think would have the power to be able to do something? Carol Danvers isn't there. Clearly, he's learned
I would
that
say
Nick
I think
Fury
he
is not on Earth at the moment. Who knows?
mm,
We have no idea what is happening with Bruce
I think
Banner
he real
slash the Hulk at this moment because we still really don't know what universe this is in technically.
yeah,
Um, who knows where Clint is?
I
Clint is clearly keeping a low profile, very clearly.
right.
Natasha's dead. Steve we
I'm
is
thinking
MIA.
in
We have no idea where Steve is.
right.
Clearly, what is it? Sam and Bucky are having to deal with a crisis at the moment. He doesn't know the new Captain America. Again, if the new Captain America is like canon in this universe, because we don't know what universe this
Hmm.
is in. So it's like he literally has we no one else to talk to as far as we understand the universe as he is possibly in.
I thought he did. The only reason why I knew this is the thing. The only reason why I knew he needed to go to Doctor Strange wasn't even the fact that he was going to see Doctor Strange. The building that he was in is a building where you're explaining, oh, all these people, we don't know where these people are. Fair. But he knew that there was a building that had what, okay, that had the time stone or whatever. Who is Wong now? He's
The Sorcerer
supreme leader.
Supreme.
Supreme. Yeah, so he's like,
Sorcerer
even if I can't
Supreme.
find
He is not a Supreme Leader, he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme, if so he's like, even if I don't see Doctor Strange, someone there in that building that hasn't been moved or touched or anything will help me. First step. Because all these people, you're like, oh, I don't know what happened to Clint and Bruce Banner and all. Yes, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't know where they are. They don't. I don't know if he knows where they live, but he
Yeah,
knows
we
the
don't know
building
what's
that holds
happening with them because after Shang-Chi, it's
exactly.
like, we don't know what
So
universe we are in.
logically, right? But logically, he would go to the building that holds the Sorcerer Supreme and possibly what's his name, Doctor Strange, right? So that I think that would logically make sense to be like, oh, I know where this is going. I've been here before. Maybe they can help me because that building hasn't moved. There. Well, I shouldn't say the building wasn't destroyed because when he opened it up, it was covered in snow, which was funny. Um, and there were these two interns that were there, which was interesting to see. But it was really good. That's why I thought, okay, that would also logically it would make sense that he would go there
Mm-hmm.
to see Doctor Strange. And then of course he tries to create a spell to have everyone forget that he's Spider-Man, but then he changes that spell to include certain people in his life, and he changed it what, 6 times was it?
Four. Because it was
Four
supposed to
times?
be for one for Aunt May, one for MJ, one for Nate, and then one for Happy. And
That's
when
right.
he's like, "Oh, Happy," Doctor Strange is like, "Oh, hell no," and collapsed it down.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then of course Doctor Strange goes and he's like, "Well, have you talked to them?" Like, because he didn't realize that this should only be used as a last resort, not the first thing. And the fact that Peter Parker goes, I could talk to them? It cracked me up. It cracked me up so much. Um, I also like to say that it is a stark contrast, haha,
Mhm.
to yeah, yup, to actually Tony Stark. You know, Doctor Strange isn't a father figure to Peter Parker at
Yeah.
all. Because Doctor Strange, when he spoke to him at first before the whole spell casting, looked at Peter Parker with utter respect. You know, he saw him as an equal. But then after the spell casting, you can see that Doctor Strange talked to him as a kid. He's just a kid, you know, and it was heart-wrenching, but that's how you know that it's good acting, that he lost respect for Peter Parker in that moment because he realized he's still just a kid, right? And I think Peter Parker also felt it, you know, he's like, "Oh shit, man. I fucked up again
Mhm.
with this older gentleman here." Or who's he they've gotten their powers around the same time, I would assume, right?
Who? What?
Doctor Strange, he hadn't had his powers for long either.
Um, I'd have to go back and like watch, but Peter Parker gets his powers at like 16. So when he is recruited in Civil War, he has only had it for a few months.
Mm-hmm. Because like I'm trying to figure out how long Doctor Strange had his powers. And Doctor Strange was blipped for about what, 5 years?
Let's just look it up.
Because I know he said I was
Doctor
blipped.
Strange was released in 2016, so a lot of it is gonna fall around the 2016 mark. Just because that's how MCU is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Captain America was also a 2016 film, so we'll probably give Doctor Strange 2 years on Peter Parker with his powers because he did have a learning curve. He disappeared
Oh.
for a while. We're not exactly given dates on that, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
significant amount of time between the climax of Doctor Strange and him dealing with Dormammu and when he has his car accident.
Oh, true, true.
We're
I need to
not
rewatch Doctor Strange.
given a lot of time or a lot of
Right.
specific time. But we do know a significant amount of time was passed for his hand recovery and then
Yeah.
his um, training with the mystic arts, um, and then his studying the mystic arts. So average, it could be a little less, it could be just a little bit more. I'm gonna say he's probably 2 years in the mystic arts when
Mhm.
Tony goes and talks to um, Peter Parker for the first time in Civil War.
Okay. So yeah, they hadn't had their powers for long. But the way he speaks to him was just like, acting like, I guess because he does have more discipline because he was trained
He
under a sorcerer
he
supreme.
was trained, but he's also like an adult, and
Yeah,
he is a doctor,
that's true.
a
He's been
highly
trained
skilled
to,
neurosurgeon.
right. So he had the discipline, and I think that's what Peter Parker doesn't have, which you can tell in the fucking movie. He lacks discipline. Um, which he lacks discipline, but can I just say that the other Spider-Mans help him with that?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. The others, oh my God, I can't. Oh God, all right, I'm skipping ahead. So, of course, the spell caused a tear in the multiverse,
Mhm.
drawing characters from other universes, like villains who knew who Spider-Man is,
Mhm.
into their universe. And that, like, I knew that was going to be a thing. in watching because I was spoiled. I saw the trailer, where there's Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and the Green Goblin
William Defoe.
from the yeah, William Dafoe's Green Goblin from
Can we talk about William Defoe
Tobey
for a
Maguire's
minute?
Spider-Man. Huh?
Can we talk about William Defoe for a second?
In a second, 1 second. So they're all pulled in, right? I freaked out in the theater because that was my first Spider-Man, was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the 2000, because we were talking earlier about 2000
Comic
2000 comic
books.
book movies
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't think they would, like, I knew they would do it, but I didn't think they would do it so well. And now you can talk about William Dafoe.
Holy shit, did that man steal the movie? He
I loved it.
he made the first
He
Spider-Man like amazing. He just made this Spider-Man so good. He is such a talented actor because it's like he does in the William Dafoe's Green Goblin. I'm not 100% sure if this
Mhm,
is across the board canon. I know that it's kind of similar across the board, but with William Dafoe's Green Goblin, it's basically a case of DID. There is a personality that has been
mhm,
created in um, Osborn that comes forward and is the arch nemesis to Spider-Man and wants to cause
mhm.
destruction and mayhem. This is not an accurate representation of DID, but it is a very similar case because
Yeah.
Osborn has no idea who this person is that comes forward. He does not like what this person does when he is forward. He is scared of this person. He does not want to hurt these
Mhm.
people. He doesn't want to do this. Um and it's he plays Osborn, who is not the Green Goblin. Like this is a very very
No.
rare character in the MCU. I've talked about this in with DC in the
Mhm,
DCEU and
mhm.
anything that's live action with DC, which I also have some things I want to talk to you about later. Remind me that with the
Okay.
DC you have two characters that an actor has to play. Like with Batman, Batman is not synonymous with Bruce Wayne. People don't know that Bruce
Oh,
Wayne
yes.
is Batman, so you have to have split personalities with these characters.
Yes.
Same with Superman and Clark Kent and
Mhm.
Oliver Queen and Green Arrow and like you have all these heroes that have to be played polar opposite from their aliases. William Dafoe has to do this with the Green Goblin. He has this very, very harsh, aggressive, mean, and evil character that he has to play, and then turn around and play this very, very timid, scared character that does not want
Sympathetic.
to do this to
Yeah.
people.
It's a fucking sympathetic character. Because, like, even Aunt May noticed it. She's like, this man needs help,
Like
and we're gonna
serious
help
help,
him. Yeah. And we're not gonna leave him behind. We're gonna help him. We're gonna do all we can to help him. Aunt May.
right?
Anyway, anyway, we're gonna
You
just
good?
glaze past that. No. Um, but William Defoe
God damn, he was so
was
good.
amazing. He took, so in early 2000s
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, like,
Mm-hmm.
he was fantastic in that. But in this one he just took it to another fucking level.
Oh
His
my god.
acting was amazing. Acting
But
chops
let's
fantastic.
admit, because it was the early 2000s, they did kind of play it a little more campy. And with this
Yes, of
one, we
course.
are very much like, "Hi, Ghost Hand, how you doing?" Oh my
Oh,
God,
hi.
yes, absolutely, he deserves an Oscar after that. But
He
with
was
this,
fantastic.
every movie that comes out in Phase 4 right now has moments where it's leading more and more into horror. We'll have like a very horror moment.
Hmm.
Because
Oh
we're leading
yes.
into the first horror movie, Multiverse of Madness, and they just let William Dafoe. It's like we're gonna go scary, we're gonna go horror, go all out,
Yes.
go ham on it, don't hold back.
So good. I mean, as much as I
Oh,
love William Dafoe's character, I also have to give props to Alfred Molina's Doc Ock
he
because
loved
he
coming
had,
back. He loved coming
oh,
back. You
you
could
know he did.
tell.
You know he did. But I love the Tobey Maguire supervillains. Those were the main ones. But I also love Andrew Garfield's supervillains. I loved that Jamie Foxx came back
Oh
looking
yes,
good. Not like
yes.
looking like that creepy character at the like he looked good. And his character wanting the power of, you know, what was it?
The arc
What do
reactor.
you call it? That. He knew it. He is like ultimate power. And I was like, that is absolutely terrifying if he did have that, you know, because he can just have it forever. Ultimate
Mm-hmm.
power. And he knew it. He fucking knew it. He also mentioned too, I also love that they did this in the film. Um, that between universes,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's like, well, this universe is different. This feels different. Like there's more power. It's because we are more technologically advanced than we were when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man came out. So it made sense for
But
us
all
to realize
well,
that, yeah, it's different because we're technically in the future of watching this.
but
Because
also,
when Andrew,
but
yeah, go ahead,
also,
sorry.
it's not that our universe is creating this universe. Our universe has technically advanced. To create a more technically advanced, there's Tony Stark, and Genius is pushing science forward to make the energy different. It also
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
alludes to that energy is different in different universes. Not just that it is more
That's true. That's true. That's
advanced,
true.
but it also is saying that there are physical differences in the universes, which I think is a Sony thing. Hear me out. Because towards the end, while they're fighting around the Statue of Liberty, when everything was resolved,
Oh, yeah.
um, Jamie Foxx says to Andrew Garfield, Spider Man, it's just like, you were from Queen, you were a superhero, I'd hoped that you were black.
You were black. And I was just like, that is
And then Andrew, I'm
that's a
pretty sure it's
nod to
Andrew
Miles
that says
Morales.
it's like, well, there might be one out there now.
And then you yep, Miles Morales,
Miles
baby.
Morales. But if you look at our Into the Spider Verse, all
Hmm.
the Spider Man that were brought in through the Collider were having very bad negative affects because of the environment they were in. What if it's because the energy is the same, is different from what their bodies are used to?
Hmm.
Could that be what Jamie
True.
Foxx's character is referring to?
I
I
mean, I
honestly
thought it
believe
was
that Sony is working to combine live action and like animated. Honestly,
animation. Oh God.
I
I mean,
would,
that could
I want
happen. We
that
just don't
here. I
know.
want that. I want that. But
That might be overkill, but because we're bringing in so many other Spider-Mans from the universe in the animated,
mm-hmm,
across the multiverse, I think is the newest one.
mm-hmm.
But you haven't seen the trailer for that, have
I
you?
have not.
So yeah, so I think no, I don't think that's gonna happen. Not for a while.
I mean, not for a while, but that doesn't mean that they
Because
ain't
you're
working towards
introduced.
it.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I have my doubts, but that's because again, it was just a teaser trailer. But we're not talking about Across the Spider-Verse now. Um, so
But he
going
is a
back,
Spider-Man. We is
he
talking
is,
about the Spider-Mans.
yeah. So this particular Spooderman did his best to like. He's like, I gathered all the villains, but instead of sending them back like Doctor Strange wanted him to, he had the most epic fight with Doctor Strange in the mirror world. Okay. And I saw that
Mirror
shit
dimension.
in 3D. Yeah, the mirror dimension. I saw that shit in
Yeah.
3D. Okay. And my eyes couldn't take in. everything coming at me. I had to take off my glasses several times because I was like, holy shit, in 3D, this is a little too much for my brain to comprehend.
Mm.
Because damn, that was an amazing fight. And oh my God, my brain almost broke. My eyes were just like, I can't see this. It was amazing. It was amazing. But also, oh my God, in 3D, it was too much.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch. I have glasses, so like I have astigmatism, so I
Yeah.
don't enjoy watching 3D movies. Like I have to sit in a very specific seat to be able to mildly be able to enjoy a 3D movie, and usually those seats aren't
Hmm.
available in very popular movies. But
Hmm.
Ghost Hand,
What
I
was?
think they are planning on bringing Toby and Andrew back. I don't know about for
I hope
Secret
so.
Wars, but I think we do have confirmation that they are uh cast for a future MCU movie. I'm not 100% sure, especially with how Sony's acting, but I do think we have confirmation that they'll be returning in something.
I hope so. I love them. The way they interacted with each other. Okay, well,
Oh,
I'm getting ahead of myself. The reveal. What
uh,
did you think of the reveal?
I think the reveal
You,
was
the
perfect. I think it was
I did
perfect
not
because
know. Like I knew I had a hint because of all the villains from both movies coming that the Spider-Mans will also be coming. But only after did I see all of the villains from Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man did I realize, oh my God, there's a high chance they would come in.
see, that's the
So
thing.
of
You
course,
didn't know about the casting for.
no. But I no, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't because I the reaction I had when I saw Andrew Garfield first walking through that portal and they're like, "Oh, you're not my Spider-Man." And he's
Was
like, "But I am
perfect.
Spider-Man." And MJ goes, "Can you crawl on the ceiling?" And he's like, "No, I'm not going to crawl on the ceiling." Fuck it. It was great.
It was
Interaction with
perfect.
them, amazing. Oh
So
my God,
that
it
was
was so
like the
good.
perfect reveal. Like, okay, so like Ned was like, "Oh, like my grandmother says that like there's magic that like runs through my family." I'm like, Ned's gonna be doing
Oh,
magic.
hmm.
Ned's gonna be doing magic. And when Peter snatched that ring off of him, it's just like, ooh, ooh. And then they were
Yep.
like flopping about. I'm like, Ned is doing Ned is doing magic untrained. I need you
Yep.
to understand that Ned was doing magic untrained. Doctor Strange, who was a neurosurgeon doctor, a high valued
Yep.
neurosurgeon doctor, took him ages to understand the concept of the mystic arts, and Ned just flails his arms around and opens a big ass
Figured it
portal.
out. Yep. And figured it out because Ned's awesome.
But then
I
it's
love
like
Ned.
it was the perfect reveal because it's like, oh, are we gonna get Tobey Maguire first? Like who are we getting first? Like they open it up, I'm like, that's not their Peter. I know that's not their Peter, and they walk through, and I'm like, yes, we get the tall Peter.
He's
We get
tall.
Andrew Garfield. This is perfect because MJ's gonna know that that is not her Peter.
Oh no, because he was tall.
He was
And
tall. It's
MG
he towered
immediately was like,
over
nope.
Tobey Maguire too. I love that, honestly.
Yeah.
But when they brought in Tobey Maguire, I think my husband doesn't agree with me. Tobey Maguire walks in. He's not in his Spider-Man outfit. His face is revealed. He's wearing his spider costume
Hmm.
under his street clothes.
Yeah.
MJ recognize like MJ as an MJ
Hmm.
recognizes that this person is a Peter Parker and understands that that is not her Peter Parker. Like I
Hmm.
genuinely believe that because that is a very standard thing to happen in Marvel Comics. It's like you are not mine.
Yeah. Yeah. My goodness. That reveal, though,
Oh, it was
was
perfect.
amazing.
Those were perfect.
Also, we mentioned this before that Tobey Maguire Parker is Peter B. Parker,
He's got to be
like
it.
equivalent to Peter B. Parker, um, Spider-Man. And you can see it because he's older.
Hmm.
He even mentions when he's like when they're fighting on the Statue of Liberty, he's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, I gotta limber up. There's something with my lower back," and just stuff like that. Because he's an older
Okay, okay,
Spider-Man. He's
but
been
it's
through the
that
ringer.
Peter B. Parker, what we're talking about, is the older Spider-Man and the mentor to Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
That it's gotta, because the voices sound, it's not the same voice actor, obviously. The voices sound the same, they act the same, they're like, oh, my back.
I know. I love it. I love that they did
Like
that
every
because I'm
millennial.
like, I noticed it. Yep, and I was like, I noticed it. I noticed that. Um, and you see, what was it? Andrew Garfield, who is like a college younger version of that,
No, he
dealing
is
with a lot of
older. He is out of
right.
college.
He is
That
right, but
Andrew
he's like
Garfield is out of college.
where you see Tobey Maguire with the experience, you have Andrew Garfield with the regrets.
Hey, you
He still
shifted your
holds.
microphone.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Okay, one second.
there you go.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. So what was I saying? Andrew Garfield was regrets, and then
Hmm.
you have young Peter Parker, Tom Holland, who's like still young, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, thinking he could handle everything, right? Like these different versions of Peter Parker throughout what's going to happen in all of their lives. And then and then Aunt May, and then they come in, and I just can't. So can we just say Aunt May dies? Oh,
Okay,
save,
but
trying
they
to
handled
save.
her death the best, though.
I agree. I agree. Because Aunt May was the one who said, with great power comes great responsibility. And she knew, even as she was hurt and dying, that they needed to save the lives of those villains, despite what they did to her, including the Green Goblin. You know what I mean?
So for me, it was kind of like when she said that, it made it. It was very obvious this is no longer an MCU movie. This is a Sony movie.
Hmm.
Not her death, but when she said that, because they made a point of not ever saying those lines specifically to Tom Holland. They didn't say
Yeah.
it in Civil War. They didn't say it in either of the first two movies. They have never said it in anything that Spider-Man had appeared in as of yet.
Hmm.
Um, so when she said that, I'm like, hey, I very much appreciate that this is now coming in on the third movie and not the first movie, because it gets very tropey-ish if it happens in the first movie every single time. That's why people like to complain about the Batman franchise, that we've rehashed the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne and the her pearls being
Hmm.
snatched off her neck and scattered across the ground. We know the story by now.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you not shoving that into my face in the very first movie. I like it's a
Right, right,
trope.
right.
Yes, I understand it is a very pivotal thing that has to happen for Spider-Man,
Hmm.
regardless of what universe they're in. It has to happen. It has to be said. But I do appreciate you giving a very big moment to it in a later movie.
Yeah. And you know the moment she says that she gonna die.
Yep. Because again, it's that pivotal
Uh,
moment for a Spider-Man.
yeah.
Like it
I'm just mad. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want it to happen. And I just didn't want it to happen.
it
I
had to
was
have
so
happened.
sad. And it was heartbreaking when it happened. Because like Happy sees it, of course, because Happy rolls in and sees everything and telling Peter to run and all of that stuff. And I'm just mm, it was heartbreaking. But of course, when the other Peters
Mhm.
come in, they all had like the spidey senses tingling. He knew it. Uh, they're like, I've been there. We've all been there, and it's true. They understand more than anybody. But what was different was that Tom Holland's Peter Parker still knew he had to save them because in every other like Andrew Garfield and in Tobey Maguire, they're
Mhm.
like, well, they end up dead, you know. And Tom Holland is like, I don't want that to happen. We really need to fix this eventually because he has such bitterness in his heart for the fucking Green Goblin, which you can see in the final fight. But it's painful. I loved it though. I loved that that's how they came together, you know. And
They were
Tobey Maguire talks
brothers.
about Uncle Ben,
They were
they were
brothers.
brothers, and then Andrew Garfield talks about Gwen, and I'm like, oh shit, this sucks. Because I remember when I saw the movie, and I just, I fucking hate that movie with Gwen.
You want to shit on me for not seeing it? I'm like, I. This is another reason why I stopped watching trailers. It's like her death was in the trailer. It's not
I don't remember
necessarily
her
her
death in the
head hitting
trailer.
the ground kind of situation, but there's a moment when she is falling backwards. You can see that there is spider web on her torso, not like supporting her like limbs or her head or anything like that. It's
Mhm.
like she's gonna end up dead because something like that, focusing solely on her torso, is gonna snap her back.
That,
Or
it was right. I thought it was because again, I don't remember seeing it in the trailer. I personally didn't. When I saw it, because I saw it, I don't think I saw it in theaters. All I remember is I watched it. I don't remember if it was I watched it in theaters or at my house by myself, but I remember watching it and I remember hearing her head hit the pavement, right?
mhm,
The crack and then the silence. And then, of course, you see the look on Andrew's face, Andrew Garfield's face.
mhm,
He did it so well, and I will never get over it. And that was one scene that I can never get over. Hated the movie after it because it made me feel things.
mhm,
The shock to me was intense. Yeah, I can still feel the shock. And the way they did the sound, what was it? The sound in the film was perfect. I think that's why it made the shock even worse, but better.
mhm.
It was good. It was good. Sound design, perfect. Um, but but in this film, they did that scene again, right? With MJ.
Yep,
And Andrew Garfield finally got his,
redemption.
I guess, redemption
Well, I wouldn't
for
say
that.
redemption. My bad.
Closure,
Closure.
closure,
Mhm.
closure. He finally had closure. And it was me and the other couple behind me, and we're like, thank God. I heard them whispering about it. They're like, I'm so happy for him. And I'm like, I'm happy for him too. And MJ's like, I don't know what's going on. Are you okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? Uh, I just wanted him to be happy. So good. Anyway, good scene. Good scene. And of course, Alfred Molina finally being a good guy, because he's technically fixed. And he actually held the power of the sun in his hand. Love that.
Which was the arc
Love that
reactor.
scene.
And
Yeah, it was
that's
the
what he
arc
was
reactor.
doing. He was trying, like, the power
Hmm.
of the sun in his hand, he was trying to make a renewable, clean energy source for people.
Hmm.
That's what happened. And so the fact that Tony Stark had the arc reactor and he was able to
Hmm.
hold it in the power of his hand, he gets a lot of, like, I'm just glad I can appreciate Sony for this, that they give so much closure across the board.
They do. Even for the villains.
Like, so
Like,
much
other than,
closure.
yeah. They did it so well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They did it so well, and I appreciated that. As someone who watched it since early 2000s,
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire, and I stayed watching Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Uh, it was perfect. It was perfect, and I loved it. And they all acted so well.
So
I know we got about 30 minutes left, but they all acted so well. I still wish to this day I could just erase everything I saw and rewatch it again because the shock of seeing all Spider-Mans that I've seen, right,
right.
throughout time, and all the villains I've come to love. And of course, I eventually did because I remember I said, I think I've told you this before. I said I would never watch Tom Holland Spider-Man because I already had my two main Spider-Man, you know,
Mm.
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And then
Mm.
I gave it a chance. I was like, I'll give it a chance. And of course, I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland as an actor. He's doing great. And I'm just like, damn, just the Spider-Mans. I love them all. And to see them all together acting like brothers
It was
was
so good.
amazing.
It was so good.
It was so amazing. And I want more. I want more Spider Brothers. I want
I
more.
know. They were so cute
I want the
together.
Spider Bros.
Because it's
They
like
were amazing.
they were so sweet and so cute together because it's it was so sweet because it's like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was like getting like being really harsh on himself and like calling him dumb, and then it's like it's very sweet but also kind of like a little on the nose where it's like Tobey Maguire's like, no, that you don't talk like that. You don't talk about
You
yourself like
don't
that.
talk
It's
like that.
all up like it's all up in your head. You can't talk like that. You're amazing. And I'm like,
And he's like, say it. Say you're amazing. And he's like, no, no, I just need to hear that. And I was like, I love them.
they were
I love them.
that's like the wholesome like brotherhood kind of shit, familial shit that like I love.
I say
It's
they
so
were
cute,
so good.
so cute, so sweet.
And it sucks that I don't think we'll ever have a movie like that again. You know what I mean? I don't think we can have a movie that would fool as many people who's been watching it, you know, from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man
right,
as kids, because I watched it as a kid. I was just a teenager up until now, as well as they did. I don't think it would ever be as good as that was. Any
right.
movie would pull what Sony did.
I don't like. I feel like Marvel can do it. Like pull like if they
I
really
guess so.
wanted to commit to it, I bet they could pull in like some old stuff and bring it in and make it really relevant. But I also understand where they're trying to make this very specific tone. Because again,
Mhm, mhm.
early superhero movies had a completely different tone than what's being created today. Even with Sony
Oh
and
yeah, mhm.
DC and all of this other stuff, like everything's very different. Also,
That's true.
I'm gonna derail us for a second. So for
Yeah.
my husband and my dad's birthday, we went and saw The Kingsman, which was the prequel to the Kingsman series.
Yeah.
Obviously, new movie trailers happen. Can't really avoid them. I usually try to disassociate when those happen. Still can't avoid them. Guess what I saw?
What?
Rob Pattinson's Batman.
You didn't. Really?
Yep,
Oh, I
it
gotta see that
played.
now.
I don't think I like it. I really don't think I
Really?
like it's one of those things I'm like
Oh
I still
no.
have to wait and give judgment then, but I don't think it's gonna be good. I really don't. Like I'm now even more mad that they got rid of like kind of like fucked over Ben Affleck's Batman.
Oh no. Oh
Like my
shit.
mom
I'll
wants to
watch the
like
trailer.
argue with me about it and I'm like, "Oh no." And like I shut her down on everything she like everything that was coming out of her mouth. She's like, well, he's a good. I'm like, I don't care if he's a good actor. He has to do a lot of stuff because there's a lot to do with a Batman, and from what I can tell from the trailer, it just does not look promising.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike our Spider-Mans, who were amazing. They
Unlike
were amazing.
him, they all were amazing.
They were so good.
I
It was
love
so
it.
sweet.
But yeah, I actually have to get going soon, so we have to wrap it up. Spider-Man, what's your rating?
Amazing, flawless, 100 out of 10. Would absolutely watch it again. It was
Oh,
so
I still
good.
wish I could erase it from my mind. I got me curious about the freaking Robert Pattinson's Batman. I'm gonna see this trailer as soon as we're off here
Okay.
because I need to know. I also want to give him my 2 cents
Okay.
later.
We can do that because it's like it's like then again, it's like I've already mentioned. It's like I love complaining. I got opinions about all kinds of shit, but it's like clearly there are
But
things
you have
that
your see, Batman is your superhero.
my superhero.
I think that's why, huh? What was
It's
that?
my super mine. He is my superhero. Like clearly
Yeah,
I
I
do
know. I think he's
superheroes. Like
your
I do
superhero.
superheroes more than you do, but it's like Batman though.
I know for a fact Batman is your superhero.
Mm.
So I know that you have every right to be uh as critical because I mean that's your superhero.
Mhm.
That's very important for you. But I'm curious. I need to check this out. Um, but yes, who are you?
I at Mickey Ree. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Boop. There we go.
Okay.
I like it. That's how you spell my name. You can find me
Right.
on
I'm
Twitter
also
and
gonna go ahead and put
Instagram.
mine.
I got opinions on Twitter. I'm not active on Instagram. You can usually find me kicking Racey's ass in Splatoon or getting her killed in Phasmophobia when she streams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very accurate.
And here's me.
Who the fuck are
Eh,
you?
I am a bowl of ricey. You can catch me streaming right there at a bowl of ricey. I've posted the thingy.
The
And
thingy.
also, yeah, right there. And on Twitter with that same name.
Yeah, yeah.
Check me out there.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Where else can they find you,
Right.
ma'am?
What's your pin 10?
Ma'am, I was trying
On
to plug
Twitter.
your cosplay stream.
What's Oh, I haven't done cosplay in a while. Because I'm like, it's fine. Eh, that one. Eh. You can find us here
Okay, here on
on Twitter.
Twitch, and then that's our Twitter handle.
Yes, yes, yes. There you go. And you can check us there. I
And tell us
We
your
normally
opinions.
we'll try to post. Yeah, please tell us your opinions. We normally just post anything media, video games, books sometimes. We've had requests for music as well, which we've done, Christmas music. Oh, that's right. Christmas music is over now, huh?
Yeah.
I bet it's a blessing for all the retail workers out there.
Mm. I don't think
God
so.
bless.
I remember when I worked at World Market, I remember it going through New Year's, it makes
Seriously?
sense. Yeah.
Hmm. Christmas is over. What's there to be excited about now?
Nothing. Well, I mean, like the
Exactly.
end of this year. Boozing it up on New Year's. What about you? Are you going to
Losing
booze it
it
up on
up
New
on
Year's?
New Year's. Of course I am. I'm gonna go see family. We go
Ah,
to visit. Yeah, we go to visit my family every year. It's like a tradition.
and
Um.
gamble. You
Oh
would.
yeah, you're right. Heck yeah, we are. That's how we do, man. That's how we do. I'm so excited. So apparently, oh wait, no, I can't keep derailing us. Anyway,
What?
I
Us?
hope you guys.
ADD? Off
I
topic?
know,
What?
crazy. It's so crazy.
What a
I
concept.
hope you guys. Right. I hope you guys please stay safe out there.
Please.
Driving back this weekend, as we said this morning. Just stay safe and take care of each other. Even if the holiday Christmas season is over, please don't drive drunk. especially during, what is it? New Year's? New Year's. Are we gonna do something for New Year's? Are we gonna podcast for New Year's?
I mean, like, New Year's is on a Saturday.
Ah, Friday's the 31st. Right. Yeah, we're gonna podcast New Year's. I'll get over
Crazy.
being
We
drunk that weekend.
established this before we started
I
streaming.
forget. I forget. We should talk New Year's resolutions next year. Or yeah, next year. Next year's our so this is our last podcast
Oh,
for this
holy
year.
shit. Oh my god. Oops.
Yeah.
Sees how we
Damn.
pay attention.
I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. This is our last podcast of the year.
Oh
And
my
we ended it with
goodness.
Spider-Man, which is
Yeah.
good because Spider-Man's amazing and you should all go see it.
Definitely go see it. On the big screen if you can. I really want to go see it again
Oh,
on the big screen.
and 3D if your eyes can take it, because dang, that mirror dimension
Mm.
fight was insane
It was so
in
good.
3D.
It was so good. I'm a little disappointed with how short it was though.
I short, it was like 2 hours.
No, the mirror dimension fight.
Oh yeah, that was, yeah, I
It
wanted
was a
more.
little on the short side.
Yeah. I thought
Look
you
at
meant the
me
movie
derailing
itself,
the
and I was like, hold up.
conversation.
Right, right, right. Have a good holiday weekend. So please stay
Yeah.
safe, don't drive drunk, don't text and drive, all that stuff. That good stuff. Right? Right.
Yeah. You done?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.